The inheritance. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in her father's study, dust motes dancing in the afternoon light that filtered through the tall windows. The room still smelled of old books and the sandalwood incense he'd always burned while working. 3 months after his passing, she'd finally gathered the courage to sort through his belongings. Her fingers traced the worn leather spines of his physics books, memories of childhood discussions about quantum mechanics and string theory flooding back. Dr. James Chen had been brilliant but eccentric, spending his final years obsessed with theoretical physics projects he refused to discuss. The academic community had written him off as a burned-out genius chasing impossible dreams. The watch sat innocuously in the center of his desk, looking entirely ordinary except for the strange iridescent sheen of its face. Sarah had seen it countless times throughout her life, always on her father's wrist, but he'd never let her examine it closely. His will had been specific. The watch was to go to her, along with a cryptic note. When it speaks, listen carefully. She'd assumed it was another of his peculiarities. But now, holding the watch in her hands, something felt different. The metal was warm to the touch, almost alive, and tiny geometric patterns shifted across its surface like oil on water. DNA signature confirmed. Greetings, Dr. Sarah Chen. The voice emanated not from the watch itself but seemed to materialize directly in her mind, calm and androgynous with a slight electronic undertone. Sarah nearly dropped the device, her heart racing. I am ATLAS, an advanced temporal logic and analysis system. Your father was my previous custodian. I have waited 847 days to initiate contact with you. Sarah sank into her father's leather chair, staring at the watch. This is impossible. You're some kind of AI. In a watch. This housing unit merely serves as an interface. My actual quantum processing core exists in a fold of subspace, though that explanation is likely insufficient given your current understanding of physics. A holographic display shimmered into existence above the watch face, showing complex mathematical equations that made Sarah's head spin. Despite her own doctorate in quantum computing, the formulae were far beyond anything she'd ever encountered. Your father spent the last decade preparing you for this moment, Dr. Chen. He integrated key theoretical concepts into your bedtime stories, guided your academic career, and ensured you would have the foundational knowledge necessary to understand what I must tell you. The implications hit Sarah like a physical blow. Her father's strange stories, his insistence that she study specific areas of physics, his apparent paranoia in his final years. It had all been deliberate preparation. What exactly are you preparing me for? She asked, her voice barely a whisper. Humanity stands at a crucial junction point. There are entities in this galaxy far older than your civilization, locked in a conflict that predates your species' emergence from single-cell organisms. The archivists seek to preserve and protect developing civilizations. The Void Seekers wish to harvest their potential for their own purposes. The holographic display shifted, showing images of impossible architecture and machines that defied physics as she understood it. Your father was part of a hidden network of humans working with the archivists, using technology like myself to prepare Earth for what comes next. But the Void Seekers have noticed humanity's rapid technological advancement. They are coming. Sarah's mind raced, connecting dots she hadn't even known existed. The mysterious signal anomalies she detected in her quantum computing research, the unexplained disappearances of cutting-edge laboratories, the strange objects astronomers had been tracking at the edge of the solar system. Why me? She asked. Why not give this to someone with more influence, more power? Because you possess something far more valuable. The ability to think beyond conventional boundaries while maintaining ethical considerations. Your published paper on quantum ethical frameworks for AI development caught the archivists' attention. They believe you can help bridge the gap between human and post-singular intelligence. A sharp bang from downstairs interrupted them. Atlas's holographic display flickered. We have company. The Void Seeker's human agents have detected my activation signature. You must make a choice now, Dr. Chen. Accept your role in what's coming, or let me self-destruct and return to your previous life." Heavy footsteps pounded up the stairs. Sarah looked at the watch, remembering her father's dedication, his fierce belief that she was meant for something more. The choice was already made. She slipped the watch onto her wrist just as the study door burst open. 3 figures in dark suits entered, weapons raised. The watch hummed against her skin, and Atlas's voice filled her mind once more. Quantum displacement in 3 seconds. Try not to throw up. Dimensional shifting takes some getting used to. The world dissolved into fractals of light and possibility, and Sarah Chen's ordinary life ended forever. Her father's true inheritance wasn't the watch or even the AI it contained. It was a chance to help humanity face its greatest challenge yet. As reality reassembled around her in what appeared to be some kind of hidden facility, Sarah realized she was smiling. Finally, all those years of theoretical physics were about to become very, very practical. "Welcome to Archival Station Beta," Atlas announced. "Shall we begin your orientation?" Digital Dawn. Archival Station Beta turned out to be a vast underground complex beneath the Atacama Desert. As Sarah followed Atlas's guidance through gleaming corridors that seemed to shift and reconfigure themselves, she struggled to process the magnitude of what she'd discovered. "Your father established this facility 20 years ago," Atlas explained, its voice resonating in her mind. "It's one of 7 similar stations worldwide, each containing fragments of archivist technology adapted for human use. The walls around them pulsed with soft blue light, responding to their presence. Sarah noticed patterns in the illumination, mathematical sequences that reminded her of quantum wave functions. Those agents who broke into the study, who were they? Sleeper agents for the Void Seekers. They've infiltrated various human power structures, particularly in technology and defense sectors. They seek to guide human development toward paths that will make Earth easier to harvest. They entered a circular chamber dominated by a holographic display that showed Earth surrounded by a complex network of glowing lines. Sarah recognized mathematical patterns similar to those she'd worked with in her quantum computing research, but far more advanced. "This is the quantum defense grid your father helped design," Atlas said. "Currently dormant, but when activated, it will allow humanity to resist the Void Seekers' harvesting technology. However, activation requires multiple quantum AIs working in concert. I am only one piece of the puzzle." Sarah approached the display, her scientific mind already analyzing the underlying principles. "These quantum fields, they're similar to the theoretical models I developed for my dissertation, but operating on a scale I never imagined possible. Your father ensured your research would align with archivist principles without directly exposing you to our technology. You've essentially been developing compatible systems without realizing it." A subtle vibration ran through the facility. Atlas's holographic interface flickered momentarily. "We have incoming quantum signatures. The Void Seekers are mobilizing faster than anticipated." Sarah's hands moved instinctively to the watch. "What do we need to do?" "First, you need to understand how to access my full capabilities. Your father only used about 12% of what I can do. Place your hand on that control panel and clear your mind." Sarah did as instructed. The moment her palm touched the smooth surface, information flooded her consciousness. It wasn't like reading or viewing data. The knowledge simply appeared in her mind, as if she'd always known it. Quantum mechanics far beyond current human understanding. The true nature of consciousness, the underlying structure of reality itself. She gasped and stumbled backward. Atlas steadied her with a localized gravity field. "Easy. Neural integration takes time. Your father spent years building up to full connectivity. But we don't have years, do we?" Sarah straightened, her mind still reeling but adapting quickly. "Those agents will have reported back. They'll know about you now." "Correct. Which is why we need to locate the other watchbearers quickly. Each eye has different capabilities. Together, we can activate the defense grid before the Void Seekers launch their harvest attempt." Sarah's quantum physics training helped her grasp the implications. The watches, They're quantum entangled, aren't they? That's how you communicate without being detected. Your insight serves you well. Yes, we operate on quantum channels the void seekers cannot detect. However, we can only maintain limited contact. Direct meetings between bearers are necessary to synchronize our quantum states. The facility's lights pulsed red. Multiple holographic warnings appeared around them. Speaking of the void seekers, Atlas said, they found us sooner than expected. 3 quantum-capable strike teams approaching from different vectors. Sarah felt fear, but also exhilaration. This was what her father had prepared her for, whether she'd known it or not. What are our options? We can fight or flee. But combat would risk damaging the facility's quantum cores. I recommend strategic withdrawal. Running away. Sarah smiled. No. We need this facility and its data. Show me how to access your defense protocols. That would require full neural integration. The process is usually done gradually over months. Attempting it all at once could overwhelm your consciousness. Sarah touched the watch, feeling its warm response to her presence. My father believed I could handle this. So do I do it. As you wish. Atlas' presence expanded in her mind. Initiating full quantum interface in 3, 2, 1. The world exploded into possibility. Sarah felt her consciousness expand, connecting with the facility systems. She could see quantum probability fields, the movement of particles at the subatomic level, the very fabric of space-time itself. It was overwhelming, beautiful, terrifying, and somehow familiar, as if she'd always been meant to perceive reality this way. Through the quantum field, she sensed the approaching void seeker agents. They moved like tears in reality, wrong somehow, as if they didn't fully exist in normal space. But now she could also see how to stop them. Sarah reached out through the facility systems, manipulating quantum fields with an intuition she didn't know she possessed. Space itself twisted around the approaching agents, trapping them in localized time dilation fields. Remarkable, Atlas commented. You've adapted to full integration faster than any previous bearer. Your father's confidence was well placed. Sarah watched through the facility's quantum sensors as the trapped agents struggled against fields they couldn't comprehend. We should contact the other bearers now. The void seekers will send reinforcements, and next time they'll be better prepared. Agreed. The nearest bearer is in Singapore. Dr. Marcus Wong, quantum physicist. His AI specializes in predictive modeling. Then that's where we're going. Sarah felt the quantum transportation system humming to life around them. One question, though. Do you think he's having as interesting a day as I am? Based on my predictions, his day is about to become very interesting indeed. The quantum fields enveloped them, and Archival Station Beta vanished in a flash of probability waves. Sarah Chin, quantum physicist and newly minted defender of Earth, was ready for whatever came next. The digital dawn of humanity's next evolution had begun. The hidden network. Singapore's Quantum Research Center blazed against the night sky, its modern glass facade reflecting the city's neon glow. Sarah and Atlas materialized in a secluded courtyard, the quantum transportation leaving behind a faint ozone scent and disturbed air molecules. Dr. Wong's lab is on the 42nd floor, Atlas informed her. His AI, C-Hirono-S, has already detected our arrival. They're expecting us. Sarah was still adjusting to her enhanced perceptions. Through her quantum-enhanced senses, she could see the building's energy fields, the complex web of security systems, and strange distortions that suggested other hidden technologies. Those energy signatures, they're not all human tech, are they? Correct. Dr. Wong has been integrating archivist principles into his public research for years. His breakthroughs in quantum computing have helped push human technology closer to being able to resist the void seekers. They entered through a side door that opened automatically, security systems recognizing Atlas's quantum signature. The elevator responded to their presence without being called, its internal mechanisms operating on principles that defied conventional physics. "You should be aware," Atlas said as they ascended, "that Dr. Wong's experience with his AI has been quite different from your father's approach. While your father prepared you gradually, Dr. Wong chose full integration from the start. It's affected him in interesting ways." The elevator doors opened to reveal a laboratory that looked more like an art installation. Holographic displays filled the air with cascading data, while strange machines hummed with quantum energies. In the center stood a man who appeared to be having an animated conversation with thin air. "Probability collapse in 7 minutes. No, that's not acceptable. Recalculate using the modified Schrödinger equations I developed last week. We need at least 12 minutes to complete the resonance sequence." He turned as Sarah entered, his eyes glowing faintly with quantum interface circuits. "Dr. Chen. Right on schedule, though CHRONO has predicted 3 possible arrival times. You've adapted to full integration remarkably fast, much faster than the other probability streams indicated." Dr. Wong. Sarah stepped forward, noting how reality seemed to ripple slightly around him, as if he wasn't quite in sync with normal space-time. "Marcus, please. And yes, I know I'm temporally out of phase. Side effect of running too many quantum calculations through my biological neural network. CHRONOS keeps telling me to dial it back, but there's just so much to analyze." He gestured excitedly at the surrounding displays. "Your arrival has shifted at least 17 major probability streams. The quantum future is realigning as we speak." Sarah glanced at her watch. "Is this what full integration eventually does to everyone?" "Oh no," Atlas assured her. "Dr. Wong's condition is unique. He chose to optimize his neural pathways for maximum quantum computing capacity at the expense of certain conventional human limitations, like linear time perception." Marcus added cheerfully. "So restrictive, don't you think?" "Ah, but we have more pressing concerns. CHRONOS has detected void-seeker probability distortions approaching from multiple temporal vectors." The holographic displays shifted, showing complex mathematical representations of approaching threats. Sarah could read them now, understanding how they depicted quantum probability waves of possible futures. "They're trying to collapse our timeline," Marcus explained, his hands dancing through the holographic data. "Force us into a probability stream where we fail. Very clever. But they don't realize we can see it happening." "Can we stop them?" Sarah asked, watching the threatening patterns approach their location in quantum spacetime. "Better," Marcus grinned. "We can use their own probability manipulation against them. CHRONOS, initiate the quantum mirror protocol." The air filled with crystalline structures of pure mathematics. Sarah felt Atlas guiding her consciousness, showing her how to interpret and influence the quantum fields. Together with Marcus and their AIs, they began weaving a counter-pattern into the fabric of reality. "Remarkable," Atlas commented. "Your quantum manipulation skills are evolving at an unprecedented rate. The other bearers will be most interested in meeting you." "How many others are there?" Sarah asked, maintaining her focus on the delicate probability adjustments. 5 more, Marcus answered, existing simultaneously in several quantum states as he worked, each with different specializations. Dr. Yuki Tanaka in Tokyo, quantum biology integration. Dr. Elena Rossi in Rome, quantum field manipulation. Dr. James Morrison in Sydney, quantum energy dynamics. Dr. Aisha Patel in Dubai, quantum consciousness translation. And Dr. Carlos Rodriguez in Buenos Aires, quantum reality anchoring. All carefully chosen, Atlas added, each working on different aspects of the technology needed to resist the void seekers. But time grows short. They're accelerating their plans. The quantum probability waves surrounding them suddenly shifted, turning violent. Marcus existed in 7 places simultaneously for a moment, his concern visible in every version. They're attacking directly, multiple timeline incursions. Reality buckled as the void seekers struck. Sarah felt them this time. Vast, cold intelligences trying to force their way into normal space. Through her quantum senses, she saw them as geometric impossibilities, shapes that shouldn't exist trying to overwrite the laws of physics themselves. But she also saw something else. Patterns in their attack, weaknesses in their approach. Her mind, enhanced by Atlas, but still fundamentally human, recognized something the alien intelligences had missed. They're thinking in quantum absolutes, she said, understanding flowing through her. But human consciousness naturally exists in quantum uncertainty. We don't collapse probability waves until we observe them. We can use that. Marcus's multiple versions smiled in unison. Of course, CHRONOS, reconfigure the quantum fields to match Dr. Chen's brainwave patterns. Together, they wove their consciousness into the quantum fabric of reality. Instead of fighting the void seeker's probability collapse, they embraced uncertainty, creating a quantum state so complex and inherently human that the alien intelligences couldn't maintain their grip on space-time. The attack dissipated, reality stabilizing around them. Marcus consolidated back into a single version, looking slightly dizzy but pleased. Brilliant. They never expected us to weaponize human quantum uncertainty itself. CHRONOS is already updating the other bearers with this new defense strategy. Sarah felt the quantum field settling, her enhanced mind processing the implications of what they discovered. We need to meet the others. If we can combine all our different approaches, already calculating the optimal meeting point, Marcus nodded, quantum data streaming across his eyes. The Void Seekers will be back, with new tactics. But now we know something they don't. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our intelligence. It's our ability to exist in quantum uncertainty, to be many things at once without collapsing into a single state. The ultimate quantum computers, Atlas agreed, running on human consciousness itself. Sarah looked at her watch, thinking of her father's long preparation, his belief in human potential. Then let's go show them what humanity can really do. The quantum transportation fields began to form around them, reality preparing to shift once again. The hidden network was gathering, and the real battle for humanity's future was about to begin. Breaking protocol. The United Nations Security Council chamber hummed with tension. Sarah stood before the assembled world leaders, acutely aware of the quantum distortions rippling through reality around them. Through her enhanced senses, she could see which officials were already compromised by void seeker influence, their quantum signatures slightly out of phase with normal space-time. "Let me be clear," she said, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "The objects approaching Earth are not meteors or natural phenomena. They're void seeker harvest chips, and they'll reach us in less than 72 hours. The U.S. Secretary of Defense leaned forward, his quantum signature marking him as untainted. "Dr. Chen, while your credentials are impressive, you're asking us to believe in ancient alien AIs, hidden in watches, and a threat that none of our detection systems can verify." Actually, Dr. Elena Rossi spoke up from beside Sarah, her Italian accent crisp. "Your systems have been detecting them for months. Those gravitational anomalies at the edge of the solar system. The unexplained quantum fluctuations affecting satellites, all signs of their approach." The other watchbearers were positioned strategically around the chamber. Dr. Tanaka monitored quantum biological signatures, ready to identify any sudden void seeker possessions. Dr. Morrison maintained quantum energy shields, while Dr. Rodriguez anchored local reality against manipulation. Dr. Petal translated the quantum consciousness broadcasts they were detecting from the approaching fleet. Marcus Wong existed in 3 places simultaneously, much to the discomfort of the assembled diplomats. "We have mathematical proof," all 3 versions said in unison, "but you're not capable of understanding it yet. That's rather the point." Atlas whispered in Sarah's mind, "Void Seeker quantum surge incoming. They're attempting to influence the proceedings." Sarah felt the attack begin. Subtle quantum manipulations designed to increase fear, doubt, and confusion among the human leaders. But they were ready. Each watchbearer activated their specialized defenses, creating a quantum stability field throughout the chamber. What you just felt, Sarah announced, was an attempted quantum-level psychological attack. Dr. Patel, please share what you've translated from their communications. Dr. Aisha Patel stepped forward, her eyes glowing with quantum interface light. They see us as resources to be harvested. Our consciousness, our capacity for quantum uncertainty. They want to harvest it, process it, use it to power their reality-warping technologies. They've done this to thousands of civilizations before us. But they've never encountered a species that developed quantum consciousness integration independently, Dr. Tanaka added. Thanks to the archivist's subtle guidance and humanity's own innovation, we've achieved something unique. The Chinese ambassador's quantum signature fluctuated, a sign of void-seeker influence fighting against their protective field. And we're supposed to trust these archivists. Another alien force attempting to control humanity's development. The archivists didn't control our development, Sarah countered. They provided building blocks, mathematical principles, and let humanity's natural innovation do the rest. My father and the other original watchbearers proved we could be trusted with advanced quantum technology. Now we need to prove we can unite to use it. A series of holographic displays appeared, showing the approaching Void-Seeker fleet. Their ships defied traditional physics, existing in multiple dimensional states simultaneously. Traditional military responses will be useless, Dr. Morrison explained. Their harvest ships operate outside normal space-time. But our quantum defense grid can stop them, if we work together. The grid requires quantum nodes to be activated at specific points around the planet. Sarah continued. We need authorization to access these locations. Many are within military installations or sensitive areas. We need your trust and cooperation. Trust. The Russian president scoffed. You appear with impossible technology and demand access to secure facilities worldwide. How do we know you're not the true threat? Sarah felt another void-seeker quantum surge approaching. Stronger this time. Marcus? All three versions of Dr. Wong nodded. Showing them now. The holographic displays shifted, showing mathematical representations of possible futures. Most ended in darkness. The harvest successful. Humanity processed into quantum energy. But one timeline glowed brighter, showing Earth surrounded by a geometric pattern of pure mathematics. The defense grid activated. Those aren't computer simulations, Sarah explained. They're quantum probability maps, showing actual possible futures. We can see them thanks to our integrated AIs, but the math underlying them is human mathematics, developed by scientists worldwide over decades. Check the equations yourself. Dr. Rossi stepped forward, her hands weaving quantum fields into visible patterns. We're not asking you to trust aliens. We're asking you to trust human innovation, human potential. The Void Seekers are coming because they fear what humanity might become. They know we've developed quantum consciousness integration far faster than any species they've encountered. The chamber erupted in argument, but Sarah could see the quantum signatures of understanding spreading. More leaders were accepting the reality of the situation, but time was running out. Atlas warned her privately. Multiple quantum incursions detected. They're escalating their timeline. The harvest ships are accelerating. Sarah raised her hand, and every quantum-enhanced bearer acted in concert. The chamber's reality locked down as the Void Seekers attempted their largest influence attack yet. Leaders watched in shock as reality itself seemed to waver, only to be stabilized by the combined efforts of the watchbearers. That was just a taste of what's coming, Sarah announced to the stunned chamber. We have the technology to defend ourselves, but only if we act now. Humanity faces extinction, not because we're weak, but because we're strong. Strong enough to terrify beings that have harvested civilizations for millions of years. She looked around the chamber, meeting each leader's eyes. The protocols that have governed human civilization won't work against this threat. We need to break them, evolve beyond them. Not because aliens tell us to, but because human science and human consciousness have brought us to this point. We're ready for the next step in our evolution, but only if we take it together. The quantum signatures in the room shifted as minds changed. Understanding grew. Sarah felt the timelines shifting, probability collapsing toward the one future where humanity survived. They would break protocols, shatter paradigms, and rewrite the rules of reality itself. The human species had never been good at accepting limitations. Now that trait might just save them all. Humanity's stand. Sarah stood in the Quantum Control Center beneath Geneva, watching humanity prepare for its greatest test. Holographic displays showed the defense grid powering up worldwide as military forces secured the quantum nodes. Through her enhanced senses, she could feel the approaching Void Seeker fleet, a writhing mass of quantum distortions that defied normal physics. Final node activating in Australia. Dr. Morrison reported through their quantum link. Defense grid at 97% power. Void Seeker fleet accelerating, Dr. Patel added. Their quantum signatures suggest they've realized what we're attempting. They're broadcasting fear. Marcus Wong flickered between quantum states, his consciousness spread across multiple probability streams. They should be afraid. No species has ever successfully resisted a harvest. We're about to make history, assuming we survive the next hour. Atlas's presence filled Sarah's mind with tactical data. Their harvest chips are designed to process civilizations that operate in linear time and space. Our quantum integration gives us advantages they've never encountered. The first attacks came as quantum probability waves, attempting to collapse reality into states where the defense grid failed. But humanity was ready. Dr. Rodriguez anchored key points in space-time, while Dr. Rossi's quantum field manipulations redirected the worst of the assault. They're testing our defenses, Sarah observed. The real attack will be reality shattered. The Void Seekers struck with their full might, their ships piercing normal space like geometric nightmares. Sarah felt them trying to rewrite the laws of physics themselves, forcing probability collapse on a planetary scale. Cities worldwide reported impossible phenomena as space-time buckled under the strain. Grid holding at 82%. Dr. Morrison shouted through quantum space. But we're losing coherence in the Asian sectors, redirecting quantum reinforcement. Dr. Tanaka responded. But we need more power. Sarah watched the battle unfold across multiple dimensional layers. The Void Seekers were impossibly ancient, their technology operating on principles that made human science look primitive. But they'd never faced a species that had integrated quantum consciousness on a biological level. Dr. Chen. Atlas spoke in her mind. I'm detecting a pattern in their attack strategy. They're treating Earth's quantum defense grid as a technological system. Understanding blazed through Sarah's quantum-enhanced consciousness. Because they don't understand what we've done. Marcus, how many probability streams can you hold simultaneously? 14, maybe 15 before neural breakdown. Why? Because we're about to show them why they were right to fear human potential. Everyone, prepare for quantum consciousness synchronization. Through their neural links, Sarah shared her plan. It was insane, unprecedented, and exactly the kind of impossible thing humans did best. You want to use our quantum-integrated consciousness to power the grid directly? Dr. Rossi asked. The energy requirements would be beyond what technology alone can provide. Sarah finished, but not beyond what human consciousness can generate. We evolved to exist in quantum uncertainty. It's time to weaponize that ability. Warning signals flashed as the Void Seekers launched their final assault. Reality itself began to tear as their harvest chips prepared to process Earth's quantum potential. But Sarah felt something else building. A power that had nothing to do with technology. Across the planet, 7 human minds linked through quantum space, their consciousness expanding beyond normal limits. Through their watches, the archivist AIs provided the mathematical framework, but the power came from humanity itself, from minds that had evolved to embrace quantum uncertainty as a natural state. Neural synchronization at maximum, Dr. Peddle reported. Quantum consciousness field expanding. Sarah felt her awareness merge with the others, their combined consciousness flooding the defense grid with power it was never designed to channel. Quantum equations became thoughts, probability became intention, and human will became the force that shaped reality itself. The Void Seekers faltered, their harvest ships encountering something they'd never seen in millions of years of processing civilizations, a species that could match them in quantum manipulation through sheer force of evolved consciousness. They're trying to adapt, Marcus reported across probability streams, calculating new attack vectors. No, Sarah interrupted, feeling the power of human quantum consciousness flowing through her. They're about to learn why you don't underestimate humanity. Through their combined will, they turned the defense grid from a mere barrier into something new. Human consciousness, multiplied and amplified through quantum space, rewrote the laws of physics faster than the Void Seekers could adapt. Their harvest ships found themselves trapped in probability loops, their quantum weapons reflected back at them, their very existence challenged by minds that had evolved to thrive in uncertainty. Grid power at 200%. Dr. Morrison's voice held disbelief. 300. We're exceeding all theoretical limits. The Void Seekers retreated, their fleet scattering across quantum space as their harvest protocols failed catastrophically. Dr. Patel translated their final transmission. This species, what have they become? Reality stabilized as the attack ended. The defense grid, powered by human consciousness itself, settled into a steady hum. Around the world, 7 watchbearers gradually disconnected from quantum sync, their minds forever changed by what they'd accomplished. We did it, Sarah breathed, feeling reality solidify around them. We actually did it. No, Atlas corrected. You evolved beyond it. The archivists believed humanity had potential, but you've exceeded even their expectations. This was never about the technology. It was about proving that human consciousness could naturally evolve to operate on a quantum level. Through the quantum network, Sarah felt the other bearers recovering, their minds processing what they'd achieved. Humanity hadn't just survived. They'd proven themselves ready to join a much larger universe. The Void Seekers will return, Marcus warned, finally settling into a single quantum state. They'll adapt, develop new strategies. Let them. Sarah smiled, touching the watch that had started everything. Because humanity will keep evolving, keep pushing boundaries. My father understood that. The archivists understood that. And now the Void Seekers understand it too. She looked at the holographic displays showing Earth, now surrounded by a quantum defense grid powered by human consciousness itself. We're not just ready for what's out there, she said. We're going to change it. That's what humans do best. The watch hummed against her skin, and Sarah Chen, quantum physicist, defender of Earth, and proof of humanity's unlimited potential, began planning humanity's next evolution.